It all began on an ordinary Thursday evening in mid-September. The sky was bruised with dusky clouds, and the scent of rain hung in the air. I had just left the coffee shop where I worked part-time and was walking home with my headphones on, half lost in a podcast about unsolved mysteries. That's when I saw her, Alicia. She stood at the edge of her front yard, just 2 houses down from mine, her eyes scanning the street like she was waiting for someone. Alicia wasn't new to the neighborhood, but she was a mystery to most. Elegant, quiet, and always in a hurry, she rarely spoke beyond a polite nod. We had exchanged a few words before, nothing more than casual greetings. Still, I always noticed her. As I passed by her driveway, she suddenly waved. I hesitated, pulling out one earbud. "Hey, can you come here a sec?" she called out. Turned, puzzled. "Me?" She smiled, a hint of nervousness in her eyes. "Yeah, just for a minute, I need help with something." I wasn't sure what to expect. The street was empty, the wind whispering through the trees. Something about her tone made my heart race. Not out of fear exactly, but confusion mixed with curiosity. When I reached her, she looked around quickly, and then, without warning, grabbed my hand and gently pulled me through the open gate. I just need you to come inside. Don't worry. I promise this isn't weird," she said, almost laughing at her own words. I froze. "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine. I can't explain out here, please." Against my better judgment, I followed her inside. Her house smelled like vanilla and something floral. The lights were dim, not ominous, just intimate. She closed the door softly behind us and leaned against it like she'd escaped something. "I know this is sudden," she began, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "But I didn't know who else to ask. You seem safe?" That word hit me strangely. Safe, like I was a refuge from something. "What's going on, Alicia?" I asked, my voice lower now. She took a deep breath. "I just needed someone to talk to. Someone who wouldn't judge. I've been dealing with something I can't tell my friends about. I saw you walking by, and I don't know why, but I felt like I could trust you." The intensity in her eyes made my doubts fade. I nodded, still unsure where this was going, but strangely willing to stay. We sat in her living room. She poured us tea. She didn't speak for a while. I didn't press. Outside, the rain began to fall, soft and steady. Inside, something had shifted, between us, within me, and I had no idea that what started as a simple act of kindness was about to unravel a truth that would change everything. The rain intensified, tapping against the windows like an audience waiting for the story to unfold. I sat across from Alicia on a plush navy couch, fingers wrapped around a warm ceramic mug. The steam from the tea curled into the air, mixing with the quiet tension that lingered between us. Alicia stared into her cup for a long moment before finally speaking. "I've been with someone for the past 3 years," she began, her voice soft but steady. "It was good at first. He made me feel seen, wanted. But things changed." I didn't interrupt. Her words came slowly, measured, like she was peeling away layers she had kept hidden for far too long. "He's older, wealthy, respected. The kind of man who knows how to wear a mask," she said, forcing a bitter smile. "To everyone else, we're this perfect couple. But behind closed doors, it's different." I leaned in slightly. Different how? Her eyes met mine then, and I saw it. Real fear laced with exhaustion. "He's controlling, manipulative, makes me doubt my own thoughts. He doesn't hit me, if that's what you're thinking, but it's like emotional poison. And I've been swallowing it for years." I didn't know what to say. I'd never imagined that beneath her quiet elegance, Alicia was trapped in such a suffocating life. So why stay? I asked gently. She looked away, then back at me. "Because leaving him means losing everything. My apartment, my job. He even helped me land my current role. He has power over people, and he knows it. If I walk out, I become invisible again. The why. Room fell into silence. Only the rain spoke. Then why did you call me in tonight? I asked. Alicia hesitated. Because lately I've felt like I'm disappearing. And when I saw you, something told me I didn't have to pretend. You don't want anything from me. You don't expect me to be someone I'm not. I wasn't sure if she was right. The longer I sat with her, the more I found myself drawn to the rawness of her honesty. There was a beauty in her vulnerability, in the way she finally let the truth breathe. She shifted closer. Not in a romantic way, but like someone seeking warmth. Can you just stay a little while longer? She whispered. I nodded, moved more by instinct than logic. Of course. In that moment, something fragile and unspoken passed between us. A connection built not on attraction, but understanding. I didn't know what this meant for her, or for me, but I knew one thing. This night wasn't just about comfort. It was the beginning of something neither of us could yet name. And neither of us realized just how dangerous that beginning would become. The hours slipped by unnoticed. Rain still painted streaks down the window panes as Alicia and I talked deep into the night. Her words came more freely now, stories of lost dreams, of isolation masked by luxury, of secrets locked behind her partner's perfect smile. And I listened, not as a savior, but as someone finally allowed into the truth of her world. But as the clock neared midnight, the tone shifted. The air between us thickened, not with silence, but with something unspoken. I haven't told anyone what I told you tonight, she said, pulling her knees up onto the couch. Not even my sister. Why me? I asked again, genuinely puzzled. She looked at me, her eyes softer now, the edge of tension replaced by something warmer. Because you look at me like I'm human, not some beautiful ornament to be displayed. That line hit deeper than I expected. She moved closer. I felt her shoulder brush mine, not by accident. Alicia? I began, but she shook her head. Just let this moment be what it is, she whispered. Then, in the quiet that followed, she kissed me. It wasn't passionate or dramatic. It was slow, deliberate, like she was testing the idea of tenderness. I didn't pull away. I should have. But I didn't, because for the first time in a long time, someone was reaching for me not out of need, but out of choice. The kiss ended as quietly as it had started. No fireworks, just the lingering weight of a line crossed. She didn't speak. Neither did I, but our silence said everything. A few minutes later, she stood and walked me to the door. There was no promise of tomorrow, no declarations of love. Just a long, silent look, grateful, conflicted, unfinished. As I stepped into the rain, the chill didn't bother me. My mind was too loud. What had I done? Was this compassion? Or was I now tangled in something far more dangerous than I understood? Back. In my room, sleep never came. Her story played on repeat in my head. The kiss replayed too, over and over, as if my conscience couldn't decide whether to savor or regret it. I knew this couldn't stay secret for long. Alicia's partner, whoever he truly was, would not take betrayal lightly. And now I wasn't just a quiet neighbor. I was a threat. Still, beneath the anxiety, something else stirred. Something I wasn't ready to name. Was it attraction? Pity? Or the intoxicating pull of being wanted in someone else's hidden world? Whatever it was, one thing was clear. I had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed, and the consequences were already on their way. The next few days unfolded with a tension I couldn't shake. Alicia didn't call, didn't text, not that I expected her to. But I kept glancing at my phone, half hoping, half dreading to see her name flash on the screen. The kiss had changed something between us, something delicate and dangerous. I knew it. And I suspected she knew it too. On the surface, life continued as usual. I went to work, smiled at customers, and nodded at neighbors. But beneath that calm, a storm brewed. Every time I passed her house, my heart tightened. The curtains were always drawn. Her car never moved. The silence was too deliberate. Then, late one evening, it happened. A black SUV pulled into Alicia's driveway. Headlights cutting through the dusk. A tall man stepped out. Sharp suit, rigid posture, and eyes like steel. I didn't have to guess. That was him. He didn't knock. He used a key. From my porch, I watched the door swing open and then slam shut behind him. A minute passed. Then, two, then shouting. Not loud, but sharp. Controlled rage, the kind that cuts deeper than screams. I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to walk away, to pretend I saw nothing. But my feet stayed rooted, eyes locked on that closed door. The next morning, a note appeared in my mailbox. No envelope, just a folded scrap of paper with one sentence, written in careful, almost elegant handwriting. Stay away from her if you know what's good for you. No name, no signature, but I didn't need one. Panic set in. My first thought was Alicia. Was she safe? Had she told him? Or had he found out some other way? Guilt twisted in my chest. I had stepped into a situation I didn't fully understand, thinking I could be her refuge. But I was naive. I underestimated the reach of a man who never needed to raise his voice to destroy someone. I walked past her house again the next day. For a brief second, the curtain shifted, a glimpse of her silhouette, but it vanished as quickly as it came. That was the last time I saw her. She moved out a week later. The house stood empty, hollow, like a paused sentence. I never got closure, never heard her voice again, but I carried that night with me, not for the kiss, not even for the warning, but for the reminder that intimacy born from pain can be beautiful and blinding. In trying to help her escape, I wandered into her prison. She had to vanish to survive. And I had to live with the memory of a quiet night, a desperate heart, and a moment that meant everything and cost even more.